You're watching ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. A beautiful night in downtown Cleveland as we are set to punch a ticket to the NCAA tournament here at Rocket Arena. We welcome you to the MAC Men's Basketball Tournament as Toledo and Akron, the two teams remaining, ready to take home the MAC championship trophy and that glistening basketball. Toledo, the 4 seed, and Akron, they've only lost one game this year in conference play, looking for their third conference championship in a row. Well, the story this year in the conference has been the Miami Redhawks, a perfect regular season, undefeated up until 2 days ago when the 8th-seeded UMass Minutemen, coached by Frank Martin, came into Rocket Arena and pulled off the upset of the top seed, 87-83 the final. And so we were left with Massachusetts and Toledo, the Rockets knocking off UMass by 10 yesterday, and Akron beating their crosstown rival Kent State 75-68. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rocket Arena. That's Mark Adams. I'm Eric Rothman. Coach, we've been following and calling this conference all season long. It's been an absolute blast. Can't wait to crown a champion in just a couple hours.
Well, and how good was Miami going undefeated in the best MAC ever? The top 3 teams in the MAC won more games than any time in Mid-American Conference history. That's how good Miami was, but that's how good Akron is, as they have dominated this conference over the last 2 seasons.
Well, let's start with Toledo as we turn to tonight's game. Kind of been always a bridesmaid, never a bride. They've won the regular season championship 4 times this decade, but they have not been to the NCAA tournament since 1980. And if Todd Kowalczyk wants to get there for the first time in his career, he's going to need a big one from Sonny Wilson.
Yeah, Sonny Wilson and Tari Johnson, 2 of the best guards in the country. So why is Sonny Wilson so good on one of the most efficient offenses in the country? He is dynamic. Sonny Wilson is explosive, All-American explosive. And Sonny Wilson, when he wants to get his shot, he finds a way to pogo stick and elevates. He is such a dynamic leader for this dangerous offense. Another dangerous offense. Again, one of the most efficient offenses in the country, led by Tari Johnson. He is crafty. During big moments of big games, he is deadly to opponents. And Tari Johnson, in a word, is a winner. That's why Akron is 39-2 in the MAC over the last 2 seasons, led by that man, John Gross.
9th season for Gross at Akron. It has been nothing but success. They are looking for their 3rd straight MAC championship title. Would be the 4th in 5 years. And Coach mentioned it, 39-2 over the last 2 years against MAC opponents. And Todd Kowalczyk, he's been around. Over 450 career wins, 315 of them with Toledo 5 times. Kowalczyk and the Rockets have been regular season champions, but they have never won the MAC championship in the tournament and never have advanced to the NCAA tournament under Coach Kowalczyk. These 2 teams met once already this year, but it was back at the end of January with Akron defeating Toledo by 10. But this is a different Toledo team, Coach, because Minor Strong is in the lineup. He came into the starting lineup after the loss on the road against Akron, and since then, Toledo is 8-4.
Yeah, Minor Strong is the key, as he has been a selfless addition to this starting 5 for the Toledo Rockets. Since that time, they've been as good as anybody in one of the best mid-major conferences in America, the Mid-American Conference here in Cleveland tonight.
One of the best conference tournament venues and atmospheres in the country. Chad Barlow, Alfred Smith, John Floyd will be officiating the action on the floor. Toledo, the 4th-ranked team coming into the tournament. Akron, 2nd only behind undefeated Miami, and we're off and running. Toledo in the blue jerseys, a 19-14 overall record. Head coach Todd Kowalczyk, the most wins by an active coach without an NCAA tournament appearance, and that is a great start. I know you love that player, Sean Craig.
Sean Craig is a guy that just wins games.
Evan Mahaffey, Tari Johnson, and Amani Lyles, the big 3 in the starting lineup for head coach John Gross.
Keep an eye on Lyles right there with the ball at the top of the key, number 0, the big guy with the assist right there, right on cue. Unselfish, high basketball IQ, physically talented, could dominate on the glass.
Leroy Blyden, one of the best freshman guards in the country, averaging 16 points per game. He's tough to deal with in the backcourt with Sonny Wilson. Wilson came up short on the little layup underneath. Zach Halligan caught on the baseline, out of bounds, and immediately Toledo looking at their bench, saying that it should be challenged. And Todd Kowalczyk is going to oblige. 1 minute and 5 seconds into this game, and we have a challenge.
Always a gamble when you do it this early. You've got to rely on your players to give you good information and not emotional information.
Looks like it did hit the knee of Zach Halligan. So if the call is overturned, it will be Toledo basketball. And Mark, Toledo, the Rockets, you know, an 11-7 record in conference play this year, but 4 of those 7 losses were by 3 points or less. They have come up just short a couple of times, as the call will be overturned in favor of Toledo.
Well, listen, when you face a Todd Kowalczyk basketball team, a guy that has 450 career wins, as you mentioned, has not been in the NCAA tournament, but as you also mentioned, 5 MAC regular season championships. He's one of the best coaches in the country against John Gross. Look, this conference is littered with great coaches. These 2 guys are becoming legends at their schools.
24 years as a head coach for Kowalczyk, 8 at Green Bay prior to coming over to Toledo. And that is Austin Parks, the 6'10" junior from St. Mary's, Ohio.
If Toledo's going to pull off the upset, Austin Parks has to be a guy that they play through and has to play well.
Bowen Hardman. He's a sharpshooter up top, and you've got both Hardman and Shema Scott, who comes off the bench as the conference's 6th man of the year, that both shoot over 40% from 3.
Now Hardman, number 21 in white, 40% from 3, and also 90% of his shots come from downtown.
No surprise what he's going to do when he gets his hands on the basketball. Here is Minor Strong. This team has been so good since he entered the starting lineup on January 31st. He was averaging just 2.5 points coming off the bench, averaging 10 points per game as a starter.
Denying Tavari Johnson the basketball, number 5. They got to keep him from getting it.
Strong the steal. Strong coming up short on the 3. Excuse me, that was Blyden on the steal. And a travel. Monty Lyles, who's averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds per game, has struggled offensively, but they keep him on the floor, Coach, because he is one of the best pure athletes in this conference. First team All-MAC selection this year.
Yeah, Lyles has gone and gotten the nasty rebounds. He's physical inside. Matched up with Parks. That is a key inside-out component for Toledo to get the ball to Parks, number 25, right there.
8 points for Lyles on 2 of 10 shooting yesterday against Kent State. Here's Parks to the rack.
Good start for Toledo. Parks got 2 touches and 2 baskets. That's a good sign for an upset tonight for the Toledo Rockets.
Shema Scott, the aforementioned 6th man of the year. 2nd year in a row he was given that moniker at the end of the season. Lyles, again, just the shooting of Lyles has not been on point as of late. His last 5 games coming into tonight, 3 of 19 from 3-point land as he missed badly on the other end.
They're really looking for Parks inside, but they'll settle right there, Craig. We mentioned him earlier. He is a key guy in this game. He makes winning plays. He complements everyone on the floor.
4 assists, 4 made baskets for Toledo. Here's Hardman, his 2nd 3.
He ain't scared. He wants to take and make big shots out of Princeton High School in Cincinnati, the transfer from Ohio State. I think the Buckeyes might be able to use him.
Hardman and Evan Mahaffey both transferred from Ohio State. You know who else did? Austin Parks, and he was blocked by his former Buckeye teammate, Evan Mahaffey.
Parks has been active and definitive in everything that he's done. Watch Evan Mahaffey come across the paint. The big fellow out of Muller High School down in Cincinnati. A lot of great players come out of the Queen City. Mahaffey right there with the rejection.
A lot of great broadcasters too, no doubt about it. Shema Scott picking up his first foul. Austin Parks from St. Mary's, Ohio, about 20 miles from the Indiana-Ohio border, just 8,400, the population of St. Mary's. Got Sonny Wilson in the double team, nowhere to go.
He walked, got away with it.
7 on the shot clock, Blyden, pull up 3. Long rebound, out to Wilson. Craig thought about it, already has 2 threes to his name. Blyden using the shoulder to get some separation.
Blyden threw a left elbow that didn't connect, but it gave him the space to shoot it. Actually, probably an offensive foul on Blyden.
20 or more points in 4 of his last 5 games for the freshman Leroy Blyden Jr. Sharon Young spins out of trouble.
Great ball movement.
Relocates to the corner. Offensive rebound for Eric Mahaffey, the younger brother of Evan.
But when Johnson gives it up, they don't leave him. They crowd him.
Shema Scott, one of the best three-point shooters in the country, 43% on the year, has that one lip out. 4-point advantage for Toledo, nearing 5 minutes into our championship contest. Craig spots up for another one. His 3rd in a row.
Craig simply replaced. When he saw Wilson go left in the paint, he just drug himself into the dead spot, wide open for 3. That's smart basketball.
Good defense by Blyden. Up ahead, Wilson floats it in.
Toledo playing possessed basketball early.
Tavari Johnson, first team all-conference. Looking for his first bucket. Conference's leading scorer at 20 points per game this year.
Sonny Wilson, Leroy Blyden Jr., 2 dynamic guards that get in the gaps. Here we go.
Leaner in the lane, pops out. Toledo has started 7 for 14 from the floor, 3 of 5 from deep. Johnson pulled the trigger, foul underneath. It will be against Toledo and send us to the first break of the game. What a great opening, 6 minutes. The Rockets looking for their first trip to the big dance since 1980, up by 9. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. The Akron Zips looking to lay claim to a dynasty if they can win the MAC championship tonight. They won it in 2022, came up short in 2023 with Kent State winning the title, but the last 2 years the Zips have come away as champions, looking for 3 in a row under John Gross in 4 of their last 5 years. And Mark Adams, you have to go all the way back to 1980. And no, that is not the band Chicago. That is the starters and the lineup and the roster for the Toledo Rockets in 1980.
Led by Bob Nichols, they were 23-6, 14-2 in the MAC. They lost to Florida State 94-91 in the NCAA tournament. Jim Swaney, Dick Miller, Harvey Knuckles, 3 of the stars of the Toledo Rockets in 1979 and 80.
Sharon Young out of the timeout. His second 3-point miss. Ball batted around into the hands of Shema Scott. Back to Young, same spot, same result. Offensive rebound again. Now it's Shema Scott from deep.
Marvin Musime Kamali comes off the bench, number 23 in white. He is an energy giver. That was the offensive rebound that led to the easy look from the 3-point line.
3 chances on that possession for the Zips. Blyden caught on the pivot. Toledo up by 6. 6.5 minutes into the MAC championship. Eric Hoffman, Mark Adams at Rocket Arena. 5 to shoot. Blyden, pull up. And that one slips in for the freshman.
No challenge in the shot, and that freshman will burn you. Leroy Blyden is special.
Averaging nearly 20 points over his last 5. 5 points for Blyden in the early going. Toledo 4 of 6 from 3. Errant pass.
With Tavari Johnson out of the lineup, this Akron Zip offense changes a lot.
Poked away and a turnover. Good hands by Evan Mahaffey, who's 3rd in the conference in steals per game this year.
Now the Toledo defense cheats towards Jamal Scott. Right there, there he is.
Puts it on the deck, up and under, finishing on the baseline.
Great read by Scott because they had two guys flowing on the pass toward him. He took the pass on the run right to the rim. Well read again. High basketball IQ, Jamal Scott.
Playing in his hometown here in Cleveland, Jamal Scott has 5 points. Wyden dancing with it. That's Kyler Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt turning, facing, fading, finishing.
Yeah, Vanderjagt saw a smaller, weaker defender and just took advantage with his size inside.
Vanderjagt's role has been diminished with Minor strong in the starting lineup over the last 12 games, with a big bucket there off the bench for Vanderjagt. 8 points in the paint for the Rockets. Evan Mahaffey.
The semifinals went for 16.7 rebounds with 6 for 10. He's staying hot tonight, Evan Mahaffey.
Transfer from Ohio State. Now it's his little brother Eric and Evan both swarming Sean Craig. Nearly threw it away. Interior pass, Wilson off the glass and in.
A simple play, but a good freshman play from Blyden as he caught the ball and just simply squared up. That's why he saw Wilson inside. Fundamentals.
Wilson, who leads the Rockets in points and assists this year, had 22 points in the loss at Akron in January. Jamal Scott the miss. Here comes the outlet. Toledo averaging 14 fast break points per game. Easy for me to say as Kyler Vanderjagt in transition knocks down to 3, the largest lead of the game for the Rockets.
Vanderjagt knows his role. He used his strength inside. That time spotted up from 3.
Eric Mahaffey lipping out on the 3.
Toledo has not turned the ball over the entire half so far.
Wilson couldn't get his own miss. Eric Mahaffey slows up nearing the midway point of half number 1.
Tavari Johnson waiting to come in, but there's been no dead ball. He has sat there a long time. The offensive leader and heartbeat of this team.
Scott short on the 3-point attempt. There are actually 5 players waiting at the scorer's table. 3 for Akron, 2 for Toledo. Fast-paced opening 10 minutes.
Akron has been leaderless in their offensive sets with Tavari Johnson not in the game.
Toledo taking advantage. Blyden kicked out of bounds. It will stay with Toledo. We'll let those substitutes check in during the timeout.
You love guys that come off the bench and understand their role. Tyler Vanderjagt, the possession before, went down the paint. That time spots up from 3. 0 turnovers for Toledo in the first half.
Well, speaking of brackets, we'll cap off Champ Week tomorrow with 2 more championship games on the ESPN and ESPN app. Vanderbilt upsetting a Florida team ranked first in the SEC, and they'll take on Arkansas for the title tomorrow. And then in the American, South Florida and Wichita State blowing past their opponents in the semifinals today. That game will be at 3:15 Eastern. So we get set for Selection Sunday. Eric Rothman, Mark Adams, ready to punch a ticket in the MAC championship today.
Excited for the SEC championship tomorrow. Darius Acuff, one of the great players in the country. Only 3 players in America average over 20 points and 5 assists. Darius Acuff from Arkansas, Tavari Johnson in our game tonight. Pretty good company.
Tavari Johnson is 20 points per game, checking in during the break. Akron coach, they've attempted 16 field goals. 12 of them have been from 3. They've only made 3 of those 12. And that changes. Amani Lyles, a much-needed 3-pointer for him. 3 for his last 19 prior to tonight.
Now, all he needs is a little bit of confidence. The numbers there. Look, Amani Lyles affects the game in multiple ways defensively, but when he's making 3s, then he becomes a monster weapon for the Akron Zips.
No space for Vanderjagt to operate. Step out. Jalen Owinga misses badly. And a whistle on the rebound against Toledo. mentioned these two teams met on January 27th at Akron. That was the only meeting this year between the two. Akron ended up winning by 10. Toledo led by 8 at the half. And coach, there was 20 lead changes in that game before Akron pulled away in the final minute.
And Wilson and Blyden combined for 42 of 81 points for Toledo in that game. That's how important those two guards are. Blyden on the bench right now. Wilson, number 3 in blue.
Akron out-rebounded Toledo by 12 in that game. The rebounds are even so far tonight. Evan Mahaffey to his left. 5 on the shot clock now for Shamaz Scott. Shamaz Scott, what could be his final game in front of his home crowd here in Cleveland. Hometown kid, 3rd year at Akron.
Wilson always probing, and they look for him on every single possession.
Akron starting to get a little comfortable, coach.
It looks like they've settled down. I thought the game was really fast for Akron. I thought they played a little bit of tight. Look, this team has been the most successful program in the MAC over the last 4 seasons. 3 out of the last 4 MAC titles have gone to John Gross in the Akron Zips. Tonight, they seemed a little tight coming into this game.
We talked to Todd Kowalczyk, coach for Toledo, yesterday, and he said, we have to win the middle 8 minutes. The last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half. Right now, they're up by 7. Unable to add to the lead with the turnover.
Now Johnson back in the game. Now they've got the maestro.
Bowen Hardman, 3 3-pointers in the half.
Buckets, Bowen Hardman.
.80 run for Toledo, stopped by the freshman Leroy Blyden.
Boy, as this crowd rose, you need a guy that understands the moment. Leroy Blyden Jr. is not afraid of the moment, a freshman.
Shamaz Scott wanted a foul, didn't get it. Miner strong, pushing. Parks lost it, and a travel.
Leroy Blyden Jr. is only a freshman. As this crowd in Cleveland rose to support the Akron Zips, this Toledo Rocket launches for the dunk. What a special freshman. The MAC Giant Killers in 1999. It was Wally's World as he went for 43 to knock off Washington, sending Miami all the way to the Sweet 16. In 2002, Kent State, we opened up the floodgates with Antonio Gates all the way to the Elite 8. 21 consecutive games won under Stan Heath. The Ohio Bobcats and the Hoyas, it made them look gross. Yeah, that's John Gross. They defeated number 3 seed Georgetown 97-83 in a blowout. 2012, Ohio DJ's Sweet 16, one of the great point guards in the history of the MAC, DJ Cooper. And in 2021, it was the running of the Bulls. Jeff Bulls led Ohio to the victory over Virginia, defeated the number 4 seed 62-58. This is a conference of giant killers.
And a rare chance, coach, for this conference to have 2 teams in the NCAA tournament, presuming that Miami, with an undefeated regular season, gets an at-large bid.
Well, Miami with 31 wins, they finally lost to Frank Martin and UMass. And Frank Martin knows a little bit something about upsets, led South Carolina to the Final Four. Look, when you win 31 Division I games in a row, when everything is stacked against you as far as the scheduling that goes on. Look, I saw the spreadsheet for the Miami Redhawks. They contacted 84 teams for a bye game. They wanted to go on the road and get bought for a game. No one would play them. They're in the NCAA tournament.
One of these teams will be in the NCAA tournament as well. Leroy Blyden, the freshman, 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Also has 3 rebounds and 4 assists. What an opening half for the freshman. Zavari Johnson missing short. Sharon Young, the rebound on the offensive glass, but he stepped out of bounds. And I think he's hurt as well. Signaling for a sub and limping to the bench.
The good news is he's able to put pressure on it, able to put weight on it, and walks off the floor. That's good news for Akron.
Bad news, Tavari Johnson, 0 points, 0 for 3 from the floor.
But credit the Toledo defense. They are blanketing him whenever he gives the ball up. They are denying him the basketball. He's not getting easy touches in this game. Brilliant tactician defensively by Todd Kowalczyk and execution by the Rockets of Toledo.
Toledo shooting 56% from the floor, 6 of 10 from 3. Inside to Parks, give and go, Wilson. Not there on the floater.
Watch Tavari Johnson, he's number 5 in white, right there, right at the wing. Watch him, they're denying him the basketball. They're hugging him everywhere he goes. They're trying to knock down his touches in this game and doing a good job of it.
Monty Lyles missing badly on that three-point attempt.
Johnson never saw the ball that possession. There's a reason why. The defense of Toledo.
Akron 5 for 18 from 3. Minor Strong probing through the double team. Sean Craig back to Strong, straight away 3. Strong, who started his career at Dodge City Community College, now on the big stage. A chance to send Toledo to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 46 years.
Sonny Wilson matched up with Tavari Johnson. He finally gets a touch.
He kicks it out to Eric Mahaffey, left alone, and he airballed it.
Now somebody else gonna have to make a shot because Toledo's defense is all over Tavari Johnson so far. Nobody in the white jersey can make a shot.
Akron 5 for 20. They've taken 26 shots, 20 of them have been from 3. Strong in the corner.
Pushing. Good transition defense by Toledo.
And Sean Craig called for the foul. Well, we have a second. We have you covered on Selection Sunday. Once again, it all starts at 6 Eastern with Sports Center on ESPN. Reese and the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology and breakdowns of each region. And then at 8 p.m., the women's field of 68 is revealed with a complete breakdown of each match at 9 Eastern.
Getting back to our Miami conversation, look, there's a reason why Miami should be in the NCAA tournament. Because the bubble stinks, and Miami doesn't. It's that simple.
Offensive rebound off the latest three-point miss by Akron. And a reach-in foul called against Austin Parks. First foul on him, 4th team foul on Toledo. Only 5 combined fouls in the half between these two teams.
Well, I am so impressed with the 24-hour turnaround, how well prepared Toledo is for everything Akron is throwing at them.
Tavari Johnson blocked, but Eric Mahaffey is there to finish at the rim.
Now, Mahaffey gets the basket because 3 blue jerseys gravitated toward Tavari Johnson. Other guys have to step up to win this game for Akron.
Johnson still without a point. Conference's leading scorer. Held to nothing so far. Wilson, jump stop. Can't finish. Eric Mahaffey, like a running back through a hole. Lyles couldn't save it. Wilson off the mark on the 3. Loose ball. Akron will take control. 10-point lead. Toledo, they've won 8 of their last 12. They win another one, they'll go to the big dance.
Coach Green, it's a great point. It's a great point how these guards could wear down, especially the 3rd day of a 3-day tournament. But Leroy Blyden Jr., the freshman, has been so good with the ball in his hands. Sonny Wilson and Leroy Blyden Jr., they average 33 points a game, 9 assists, and shoot over 40%. This is the only backcourt in the country that does that. This kid is so good. He's got that Detroit toughness about him.
10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a 10-point lead for Toledo. Under 3.5 minutes to go here at Rocket Arena in half number 1. We have not seen a free throw shot by either team in this game. Pace so far, great crowd here in Cleveland. Kick ball. Got some confetti falling already, a little premature here.
Yeah, we're ready for a celebration, but sometimes that backfires.
Well, there was a celebration earlier today on this court with the Miami Redhawks, the women's team, punching their ticket to the women's NCAA tournament. Only the second time in school history that they go to the big dance, as now we have the confetti cleanup crew coming onto the floor.
Yeah, congratulations to Glenn Box, the head women's coach at Miami University. What a job he has done. I've been in their practices a couple times, going over to see the men's team play. What a job he has done. I've seen this happen before. Premature confetti.
Now we got a dozen people on the court now trying to clean it up.
Jamal Scott just did a nice job snatching one out of the air.
Now the players getting frustrated. I mean, it's just not stopping, Coach. If you look up,
I know.
there's more coming down. For as good of a pace as this first half has been, who knew that confetti was going to slow us down? Well, we got time. Let's knock out a promo, make everybody happy. Cap off Champ Week tomorrow. 2 more championship games. Vandy and Arkansas, 1 p.m. to crown an SEC men's champion. And then in the American, Wichita State and South Florida, the top 2 teams in that conference. That'll be at 3:15 Eastern as we get set for Selection Sunday.
What a job Brian Hodgson has done at South Florida. Came from Arkansas State, where they were perennial challengers in the Sun Belt. Now comes over to South Florida and has just done a tremendous job with the Bulls.
First year with South Florida.
Jamal Scott leads the team in snatched confetti from the air. He's got 2 of them.
Pass on the baseline, out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds again. Minor Strong got his hands on it. And if South Florida makes the NCAA tournament, Coach, watch out for Isaiah Nelson.
Yeah,
Came over
really
from
good.
Arkansas State with Coach Hodgson. One of my favorite players in the country.
Newcomer of the year, player of the year, and defensive player of the year in the American.
First time ever one man has been awarded those 3 in that conference. 5 on the shot clock. Under 3 minutes on the game clock. Tavari Johnson.
He is blanketed.
To Lyles, too strong. Evan Mahaffey got it back. Lyles, the slam.
Going into that possession, Toledo only had 2 turnovers in the first half. Akron has to make something happen on this end.
8 offensive rebounds for the Zips. And a whistle up top. It's on Tavari Johnson.
Akron finally getting a break, snatching a loose ball, and Amani Lyles right to the rim.
Austin Parks lobbing it behind Jalen Owinga. Turnover on Toledo.
That's a bad play by Austin Parks. Look, he's not a point guard. He's not going to be able to put the ball on the floor, throw it up for a dunk, and hope it all works out. You know, that was a wing and a prayer, and nobody answered it.
Owinga was flying in, trying to answer it. He was behind him.
So it's no wing and a prayer.
Yeah, that's right. We're here all week at Yuck Yucks and the Rocket Arena.
We do have fun parts.
Tavari Johnson, no! The scoreless first half for the Max leading scorer continues. 2 minutes to play.
Open.
Wide and short.
Now that's what Tom Crean was talking about, legs. Once you start seeing jump shots that short, you start worrying about 3 games in 3 days and guards running out of gas.
Lyles swiped away. Minor Strong, the pickpocket, up ahead. Sonny Wilson in.
Toledo with those guards, when they smell a turnover, they explode to the opposite end.
6 points for Sonny Wilson. Afey double teamed briefly. Hardman's already got 3 3-pointers. Johnson, sidestep 3. Finally a bucket for Tavari Johnson.
Amani Lyles with a big walled up screen. That's how Johnson got open. Akron needs more of that down the stretch and into the second half. More screens for Johnson.
Under a minute to go in the half. Blyden against Lyles. The freshman just takes Lyles to score.
Special. Leroy Blyden. Mom's having fun.
As confetti continues to fall on the court, Tavari Johnson, another missed 3 for Akron. They're 6 for 23 from deep. 30 seconds to go in the half. Toledo led by 8 at the half in the first and only matchup of the year at Akron between these two teams on January 27. Akron came back to win by 10. A championship on the line tonight in Cleveland. Owinga to give the Rockets a 12-point advantage. Largest lead of the game for Toledo. 2 seconds to go. And the Rockets could not have asked for a better first half, and they are 20 minutes away from their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1980.
Toledo has executed their game plan exquisitely in the first half.
They shot 53% from the floor, 8 of 15 from deep, led by the freshman Leroy Blyden Jr. with 12. Let's send it to the studios. Zubin, Coach Keats, and Coach Crean with the halftime report.
Long time coming here for Toledo. They're 20 minutes away as we welcome you inside the Sargento halftime report. Just underway over on ESPN. About 3:35 in ACC championship. Coach Keats, Malik, you've been watching him.
Well, he's gotten a lot better. They do a great job setting a screen, and he rolls to the rim for a great finish. But Virginia's up in this game early.
Remember the one regular season meeting, Duke won by 26. Houston and Arizona for the Big 12 championship. Arizona in command. Coach Crean, Koa Pete.
Koa Pete, Braden Burries, a tremendous freshmen for Arizona, were fantastic tonight. Great drive by Milos Uzan there for Houston.
And then here comes Mercy Miller. Haven't heard his name a ton this season, Kev.
Well, he's been playing a lot better. And what happened is Houston started to play. They started to defend, and they got right back in this game after they started. They were down 15 at one point.
The combination of Pete and Burries, Tom, just too much.
It really wasn't. At the end of the day, the trio of Kingston, Flemings, Emmanuel Sharp, and Milos Uzan combined to go 9 of 30, 3 of 14 from 3. That's just, you got to have better from those guards if you're going to win a game like beating Arizona. It's just too hard.
It's their 8th conference tournament championship, their first since entering the Big 12 conference. You guys watch this wire to wire like so many others on ESPN earlier tonight. What are your big takeaways from Arizona's win?
Well, Houston, a team that struggles offensively at times, didn't play well early. When you look at it, they can't afford to get down 15. Their defense has saved them all year long. And when Kingston Fleming don't play well, they really struggle. He had 8 points. He was 3 for 12 from the field. You look at what Pete and Burries did. They were great tonight. They had 42 points between the two of those guys, and that's the reason why they won that game.
And I think Arizona, in my mind, for a while have been the #1 team in the country. I don't care if Duke wins by 30.
Yeah.
Duke is a great team, but Arizona has been the best all year. They have so many different ways to beat you. Ivan Karchenkov, all right, 0 points at half, comes into the second half. It's like he's trying to average 20. I mean, they just have so many ways that they can get you, and they can get you inside. And they make winning plays when winning matters the most, which is in those possession-by-possessions at the end when the team is coming back.
That's a great point. There was a reason they did start 23-0 when the Sargento halftime report continues. It was a little bit of chalk in the ACC and in the Big 12. Not so much in the SEC. Wait till you see this championship matchup that few would have predicted. That's on the way.
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese. Welcome back to the Sargento Halftime Report.
A lot of chalk today on Conference Championship Saturday, not in the SEC, where Vandy just demolished Florida.
Yeah, Jalen Washington with a pick and pop three. The front line of Vanderbilt went 7 of 11 from 3 today versus this Florida team.
Yeah, Vandy did a great job defending, got 24 points off of there, 14 turnovers. Florida didn't come to play, and Tyler Nichols with the huge step back three.
And they would end up playing either Ole Miss or Arkansas in a very unlikely SEC championship, which will be played tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Final seconds of regulation. A.J. Storr to the cut. Are you kidding? We're going to overtime.
No, and this game's over if Billy Richmond just turns the ball handler, A.J. Storr, one time. He never gets to the rim that way unless he makes a fluke shot. But they put it in overtime. Arkansas found a way, but it wasn't easy, Kevin.
It wasn't easy, but I tell you what, this Ole Miss don't have any quit in them. Darius Aycock Jr. was really good driving the ball to the hole, but Ole Miss kept fighting, and oh my goodness, what a great finish that was.
From Storr, no quitting them, although they're going to quit after this shot because it doesn't fall, and a spirited run comes to an end. 93-90. Once again, Vandy and Arkansas for the championship tomorrow. Wisconsin and Michigan, final seconds. Kick back out to Cadeau. Tom, Michigan's got the lead late.
Yeah, no block out late. There's Yaxel Lendenborg. All right, kicks it out to Cadeau for a 3. But now we come to the other end. Elliot Cadeau, what's he got, Kev?
Well, carrying and sharing, and it's a big-time pass to Lendenborg, and it's a huge shot.
And they will end up taking on, after this heave does not fall, Purdue in the championship tomorrow for the Big Ten in another thrilling finish. We've got a one auto bid on the line after 20 minutes more of action between Toledo and Akron. We're back with a potentially huge injury situation in the Big East for a title contender. Next.
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese.
You know, Tom, the last time St. John saw UConn, they lost by 32, and they took it out on them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, motivation from a revenge game like that from a couple weeks ago, anybody can say what they want. That has been stuck in them since they got back to St. John's and practiced and had film from the first trip back from that UConn game. Rick Pitino is a master at finding a way to get the most out of his team at the most important times. It was way more about St. John's tonight than it was about UConn. You have got to credit what St. John's did in this game to win another championship.
Yeah, the most hungriest team won the game. That's what it was about.
No doubt. So they are the latest of the 5 auto bids that have been punched today. 6 more to go. Silas Demery for UConn ended up limping off the court. So that's going to be something the Huskies are going to have to monitor as we're on the eve of Selection Sunday. That's a storyline worth following. Best storyline here, how about a team making the conference championship after a 40-plus year drought? They've got a 12-point lead. Can they hold on? We'll find out. This has been the Sargento Halftime Report.
You're watching ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. A fast-paced, furious first half. The 4th-seeded Toledo Rockets on top by 12. Against the 2 seed, the Akron Zips, as we get started. Set to start the second half and welcome you back to the MAC Men's Basketball Tournament. Bright lights of Cleveland, Ohio, Rocket Arena. What a great host they have been. The tournament title up for grabs just 20 minutes away. He's Mark, I'm Eric, back here at Rocket Arena with you. A masterclass by Todd Kowalczyk and the Toledo Rockets in half number 1.
The magic number is 3, and that's exactly what the Toledo Rockets did. They loaded up the 3-ball, and they made a whole bunch of those 3-point shots. Look, this has been a masterclass in how you attack Akron, taking Tavari Johnson out of the game. But the threes have been the story for Toledo, and it's been a team effort. Sean Craig is 3 for 3 from downtown. Everybody's gotten into the act. Roy Blyden Jr. Minor Strong from downtown. Biden Jr. again. This team just keeps exposing the 3. Owinga, the big guy from downtown. They shot 53% from the 3-point line, and they held Tavari Johnson to, guess what? The leading score average is 23 points.
Just 1 of 7 from the floor for Tavari Johnson in half number 1. To make matters worse, Akron shot just 6 of 24 from 3. They only took 35 field goal attempts in the half, 24 of them from deep. Amani Lyles gets deep inside. Maybe that's where they need to start focusing on.
Yeah, they really want to get Lyles involved and play inside out. Good coaching move, great set play from John Gross. That's why Akron has won 3 out of the last 4 MAC tournament championships.
Toledo led by 8 at the half in the regular season meeting at Akron. Akron came back to win by 10. Today it's a 12-point lead with Toledo looking for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1980. As a foul will send Sean Craig to the free throw line.
You know, Eric, I like how Akron came out. They dumped the ball inside, but the real problem is on the defensive end. When Sonny Wilson can get to the basket and draw 2 or 3 defenders, that means somebody's going to be open, and that time it was Sean Craig again with a really smart cut right to the rim. He read the situation. That's what he does. He just makes winning plays.
You talked about it yesterday to me and then asked Coach Kowalczyk about it when we met him last night after their semifinal win against UMass. He said, you don't run any plays for Sean Craig. Yep. He's just there. He's just a presence on the floor for the Rockets.
And as a coach, that is an insurance policy that you have. Sean Craig, where you know he's going to play smart.
Miscommunication between Johnson and Scott up top. John Gross and Akron looking for their 3rd straight tournament championship. Will be the 4th in the last 5 years. Toledo standing in their way.
Toledo only had 3 turnovers in the first half. Another adjustment. Now all of a sudden Akron goes 1-3-1 zone.
And Wilson threw it away. Scott, 7 points, 1 of 5 from 3 in half number 1. The conference's best lead 3-ball shooters in the conference. Excuse me, Coach.
There's Craig again. I mean, look, you have a really good cut from Evan Mahaffey that goes right to the rim. He just snaps his head, snaps his arm, perfectly defensively, and deflects the ball out of bounds. Those are the winning plays that number 7 for Toledo makes.
Tavari Johnson.
Short jump shot. I got to question his legs right now.
The Mahaffey also short. 3rd game in 3 days for both of these teams.
Second half of a 3-day run for the championship of the conference. You can't settle for 3 balls. You got to get the ball to the rim.
Toledo goes to the corner. Sonny Wilson misses. Tavari Johnson wants to push. Not only 3 games in 3 days for both of these teams, but for Akron, they were trying to keep pace with Miami, who was undefeated all year, and won for Tavari Johnson. The Zips, listen, they went 17-1 in conference play. They've won 9 games in a row, 18 of their last 19. Maybe starting to feel it a little bit.
Well, the reason they were so successful is mainly because of this guy. Tavari Johnson averages 20 points, 5 assists per game. Only 3 players in the country that can brag about that stat line. And look, he has to be more aggressive. He has to hunt his shots. He has to also work hard off the screens to get the ball back, because Toledo has one goal in mind. Don't let Tavari Johnson catch the basketball.
Austin Parks called for his 2nd foul.
Akron staying with the 1-3-1 zone. That's over back.
Violation. Turnover on Strong. He had 5 turnovers yesterday to go along with his 17 points. That was something that Coach Kowalczyk said in his post-game press conference. We got to clean up. Minor cannot have that many careless turnovers.
Well, that was a careless turnover. I mean, he passed that ball 2 feet behind the half-court line.
Zone by the Zips, giving Toledo some trouble to start the 2nd half.
Now Minor matched up with Johnson. He's going to take it right to the rim. Smart read. Smart read. And Minor Johnson gave him the right hand all the way to the rim.
7 points now for Tavari Johnson, 3 of 10 from the floor. Toledo has led by 12 points, 3 different occasions. And now Akron creeping back in.
Now they got Parks inside. Now they're going to double him.
Baseline pass for the cutting Minor Strong. Good eyes by the big man, Austin Parks.
Toledo read it perfectly. Parks had a smaller defender on him. They got it to him, and Parks made a decisive read.
2 chances for Akron, 3-on-2. Toledo pressing. And a 3 is good for Blyden.
So poised, so confident, so Detroit. Leroy Blyden Jr.
15 points for the freshman. Tamari Johnson at the cup. 10-point game.
Johnson's starting to really heat up now. He's not settling for anything. He's going right to the rim. They've got a mismatch again. Give it to Parks again, then they'll double him. Parks got to make a play.
Strong wildly into the lane, and he's fouled by Evan Mahaffey.
Watch how Austin Parks reads the double team. He's got a mismatch right away. They go with the monster double team. But Parks right away, he catches and squares. He looks to the rim. That's why Craig is so wide open. And then just giving the ball up. Look, that's just a really good lift fake and poise for the jump shot.
Todd Kowalczyk said yesterday, we got to win the middle 8 minutes. The final 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half. So far, so good for the Rockets.
Yeah, and look, Todd Kowalczyk, he spun the perfect game plan in the first half and perfectly executed as well. Tamari Johnson has been the focal point of this defense the entire game, and they've been wearing him out.
Many times Toledo has been in this championship game as the favorite, the regular season champion, unable to get it done in the big stage in Cleveland. This year different, the underdog, the 4 seed, and right now a 10-point lead as Amani Lyles chips away for the Zips.
Todd Kowalczyk has the most career wins, 450 of any coach in the country, not to go to the NCAA tournament. A lot on the line for Toledo, and a lot on the line for one of the great coaches in the country.
451 wins over 24 years, 16 years at Toledo, 8 at Green Bay, and that's a turnover on the Rockets as the Zips defense has stepped up here in the second half, but still a double-digit advantage for Toledo. Earlier today, right here in Cleveland, the MAC Women's Championship, Miami University, the top seed taking on the 6th seed Toledo. The Redhawks' Amber Treader scoring 23 points, had 10 rebounds. And the Redhawks punched their ticket to the big dance the second time in school history. 50-40, 15:47 to go in the MAC Men's Basketball Championship. Eric Rothman, Mark Adams here in Cleveland. Many thought that Miami would be in this championship game after a undefeated regular season. They came up short in the quarterfinals against UMass, and so Toledo and Akron a chance possibly to send 2 teams from this conference if Miami gets an at-large bid to the big dance.
John Gross came in with a game plan to force turnovers by Toledo. Only 3 turnovers in the first half. 3 turnovers by Toledo in the first 4 minutes of the second half.
It'll be Shamaz Scott to the free throw line.
Well, Eric, it's been fascinating to watch John Gross as he applies his craft here in the second half. They went 1-3-1 zone that has rocked Toledo back on their heels. That's the reason for the 3 turnovers.
Blyden called for his first personal. Shamaz Scott to the free throw line. He comes up short. We have a special ESPN NBA matchup for you tonight. DeMar DeRozan and the Kings square off against Kawhi and the Clippers. Coverage begins at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Like everything else, you can watch it on the ESPN app. Pair of missed free throws. Not helping the cause for Akron.
And short legs.
Foul before the shot. As Sharon Young wrapped his arm around Jalen Owinga, who had really good position, and that foul actually hurting Toledo more than it helped. Because Owinga was in perfect position to get that pass and face up to the bucket. First on Young. Very few fouls in this game so far. Didn't have any free throws in the first half. Blocked by Lyles, saved it from going out of bounds. Numbers for the Zips. The lob from Johnson to Eric Mahaffey.
That's the same as a turnover right there. Lyles blocked the shot and kept the ball in play. Didn't swat it out of bounds. He kept the ball in play. Great play defensively by Amani Lyles.
Single-digit lead for Toledo. 5 minutes into half number 2. Sonny Wilson bumped off his line. Finds Owinga at the elbow.
Lyles had to help. That's why Owinga was wide open. He saw Lyles go right to the ball, and Sonny Wilson stepped right in the crack.
Lyles, finger roll, the slasher inside.
Amani Lyles starting to be strong inside on defense and offense.
He's got 11 points, 11 rebounds, double-double for Amani Lyles. First team all-conference this year.
I said in the first half, someone else is going to have to score for Akron. It's been Amani Lyles in the second half.
Craig off the side of the backboard. Ari Johnson swarmed, but keeps control of the dribble.
I try to find Lyles again.
No continuation. Foul on the floor. It'll be against Sean Craig. Or excuse me, it'll be on Kyler Vanderjack. His first. Starting to see some momentum for Akron here.
And Lyles is going to take a blow right now. Now you might say, well, why are they sitting Lyles right now? Look, this is 3 games in 3 days. You need to keep guys fresh. Give him a minute, give him 2, and then get him right back in there. He won't be there long.
They also sent Tavari Johnson to the bench. Evan Mahaffey and Bowen Hardman checking in for Akron. Both the Mahaffey brothers on the floor. Here's Eric Mahaffey. Shabazz Scott took a lot of contact. No whistle. Ball out of bounds will stay with Akron.
But the common theme offensively for Akron is they are not settling right now. They are attacking. Shabazz Scott, an excellent three-point shooter, goes right to the rim, and that's a good no call.
And after shooting so poorly from 3 in the first half, they've only attempted 1, now 2 threes in the second half. Sharon Young gets it to go.
And he's a guy that doesn't play all those minutes for 3 games. He's got fresh legs. And they're really fresh right there. Back cut, there it is.
Wilson one-on-one against Hardman, draws the double. 6 to shoot, Vanderjack, tough take, too strong. Zips are closing in, it's a 7-2 run.
Akron really looking at secondary break. They're trying to push it and expose Toledo's defense early. Good job by Toledo.
Timeout, as Scott was trapped right in front of us. 12:55 to go here in the second half.
You need your bench players to understand what they need to do to ignite the offense. Sharon Young, he's got fresh legs and knocks it down. Key component, bench scoring.
Closest Akron has been since it was 27-23 in the first half. 5 points down with 12:55 to go in regulation. What a year it's been for the Zips. 28 wins, a program record, undefeated at home. They won 15 of their last 18 MAC games by 10 or more points. Only 1 loss on the record in conference play against Miami by 3.
John Gross and the Akron Zips are 39-2 in MAC games over the last 2 seasons, including tournament games. They have been the dominant force here in the Mid-American Conference, and what a league it has been. The top 3 teams in this league, Miami, Akron, as we see the shot go down for Mahaffey, and Kent State. 85 combined wins between the top 3 teams this league. That's 8 more than ever in the history of the MAC, and they're still playing.
And it's the 4th seed, Toledo, that has a 3-point lead with 12.5 minutes to go in the championship game.
They could win their 20th game tonight if they can figure out a way to win this one.
Wilson handcuffed as he was going into the lane. Foul on Bowen Hardman, his first.
Eric, just to put a bow on it, I've been covering this league for 25 years. This is the best I've ever seen them at. And Miami leading the way with their magical undefeated season. Congratulations to Travis Steele, and you're going to hear your name tomorrow for the NCAA tournament.
Jump ball, Strong and Young fighting for it. It's a foul on Toledo. And the Akron bench and fans are hyped.
Sharon Young at 6 foot, 160 pounds. He simply wants the ball more. First jersey to the floor wins. And Sharon Young out of Morgantown, West Virginia. That's a little bit of West Virginia toughness right there.
High school player of the year for Morgantown High School.
Give it to him, why not?
Up and in, Sharon Young. Akron is within one.
Energy giver, Sharon Young.
Zips starting to score at will.
Mismatch with Park, you gotta get it to him, there it is.
Kick out, Craig. Missed badly. And now a foul. Momentum has swung to the Zips. Toledo's lead was a dozen. It's down to one. 11:59 to go in Cleveland. It's a 9-0 run for Akron, and they're trailing by a point here in the second half.
It's been other guys who have stepped up, in particular this little guy, Sharon Young. He has been knocking down shots, playing aggressively, and has brought this crowd to their feet. Since John Gross went 1-3-1 zone, 21-10 in favor of Akron. That's why he's won 3 out of the last 4 MAC championships. Dude can coach.
Trying to do what no team and no coach has ever done, and that is win 3 straight MAC championships. 10 for 15 from the floor here in this second half. What does Toledo need to do to weather the storm and get back into this?
Yeah, it's really about, first of all, I think they're doing a good job defensively overall, especially against Tavari Johnson, but now they got everybody else to worry about, like Jamal Scott.
First lead of the game for Akron.
They've got to get into an offensive flow against the Akron defense. Now Akron comes out of timeout, they go man-to-man. Good coaching by John Gross. Steal.
And a foul. It's on Strong. Third foul on. Minor Strong.
Jamal Scott is so strong with the ball. He has such leadership skills for this team. Late game situations, they give him the ball more than they do Tavari Johnson. And that was a possession they needed a basket. They got a basket with Johnson on the bench.
9 points for Jamal Scott. Minor Strong with his 3 fouls takes a seat for Toledo. Vanderjack back in there for the Rockets.
Good ball movement.
The Mahaffey connection. Evan to Eric.
Just when Toledo seems to be settled in against the zone, then Gross goes man-to-man.
14-0 surge for Akron.
When the second blue jersey comes, watch the ball move. There it is. There's the pass.
The brothers spot each other again. Eric came up well short the second time. Got it back. He'll go to the line.
The offensive efficiency numbers for Akron can be off the charts. Here's why. As soon as you see 2 blue jerseys, ball moves in the triangle. Whenever you can create an offensive triangle among 3 players with 2 defenders chasing, man, you got something going on, and that's what Akron is reading time and time again.
Both of these teams very good at sharing the basketball.
Yep.
Akron averaging 18 assists per game. Toledo averaging 16. Tonight, Akron 12 assists on 24 made field goals. Toledo 13 assists on 20 made field goals.
Well, these are two of the most efficient offensive teams, certainly in the MAC and in the country. As you mentioned, they share it so well.
And one of the best atmospheres for a conference tournament anywhere.
The best mid-major conference in the country, along with Arch Madness in St. Louis, the Missouri Valley Conference. None better.
And that ends a 5-minute scoring drought for Toledo. A desperately needed bucket for Leroy Blyden Jr. Halfway through period number 2. Scott fading away, rattles out.
Tough defensive rebound by Craig.
Wilson fouled. Second foul on Shema Scott. Wilson to the free throw line. Toledo's only attempted 4 free throws. Akron only 5.
Yeah, Sonny Wilson, like Tavari Johnson, those two counterparts, the leading scorers for each team, they have struggled. Wilson 3 for 11 for the game so far.
We bid adieu to Champ Week tomorrow. The SEC men's basketball champion will be crowned. It'll either be Vanderbilt or Arkansas, 1 Eastern on ESPN. And then in the American Conference, either Wichita State, the Shockers, taking on South Florida at 3:15 p.m. All leading up to Selection Sunday. Reese and the gang will have you covered all evening long before the women's selection show later on tomorrow evening.
Mark Byington, one of the great coaches you may not have heard a lot about before he came to Vanderbilt. No surprise as he has resurrected the Commodores program.
Ari Johnson on the baseline. Under the bucket, trapped behind the back. Lyles underneath.
Well, showmanship.
4th assist for Vari Johnson. Monty Lyles has his double-double already. Vanderjack for 3. Drains it.
He was the story of the first half and a huge 3 for the Rockets here in the second half.
8 points and a pair of triples. Scott with the left hand. Too much.
Good push.
Blyden, Euro step, left hand off the glass with the English. "20 lead changes in the first and only meeting in the regular season between these two, and now we go back and forth with Toledo retaking the lead by 1.
Mrs. Blyden, God bless you for bringing us your son tonight. Nice to the rim, splits the defense, English off the glass. I love Mrs. Blyden.
She's been noisy with her cowbell this week. Hardman. Parks climbing the ladder. Wilson on Lyles. 8.5 to go. Wilson.
Great defense by Lyles.
Vanderjacked! Count it!
Vanderjack off the bench. Tremendous defense by Amani Lyles. Nothing there except falling down on the floor, throw it up, and it goes down. Vanderjack again.
Second foul on Lyles. Now a 4-point lead for Toledo as they're on an 11-2 run.
Well, you can feel the desperation combined with execution right here. Both these teams playing at a super high level.
How about that? Dipsy-doo by Tavari Johnson.
Playground stuff, having fun.
We got the best seat in the house. Johnson's got 8 points in the half, 11 overall. Wilson, no.
Monty Lyles with another rebound.
13 for him. Oh, they're going to give it to him. Continuation for Amani Lyles. 15 points, 13 boards for the big fella.
Championship night in Cleveland, Ohio. If you're a college basketball fan, you gotta love the effort of Amani Lyles. Double for the big guy. MAC championship on the line. Let's get rolling for the final 7 and 45.
Tom, Kevin, Zubin here in the studio. ACC over on ESPN. Got a great second half coming, Coach.
Well, great drive and great finish by Isaiah Evans. He's got 7 in this game. Duke's up 2.
It's, a 2-point game, and it's 1 versus 2 next in the Big West on ESPN2.
Jerry Dixon, he can get out, he can play in transition, he can attack, he's got wiggle. I love watching this guy play.
Coach Gano's 14th year on the job on the Islands. It's next. Fellas, back to you. We got a champion to crown.
No doubt about it, Zubin, and we can't wait. 7:45 to go, all tied up. Akron had a 15-0 run, and Toledo went on an 11-2 run. Who will punch their ticket? These teams on the left side of your screen have already punched theirs. UMBC, Howard, Arizona, Utah State, St. John's beating UConn today, and then Prairie View A&M, the latest out of the SWAC.
Watch out for Jared Calhoun and Utah State in the NCAA tournament. That is a team that could get into the second weekend for sure. Prairie View A&M under Byron Smith, the number 8 seed in the SWAC. They're dancing.
Eric Rothman, Mark Adams here in Cleveland. Akron now 1 for 6 at the free throw line. They missed another one coming out of the break. Vanderjack retakes the lead for Toledo.
Well, Vanderjack has been the secret weapon for Todd Kowalczyk tonight.
Ari Johnson, another jumper, comes up short for Tavari. 5 for 14 on the night.
Since Akron went back to man-to-man, that's when it started, the Toledo offense.
Blyden will shoot 2.
Tyler Vanderjack, 6'4", 220 pounds. We saw him use his girth in the first half. This time goes mid-range with the soft touch inside. 3-ball guy off the bench, shoots 37% from 3. Only averages about 8 points a game, but he understands his role. And he's playing it to perfection tonight.
Second foul on Sharon Young. Blyden, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And just how about the leadership and the poise by the freshman in the biggest game of his life?
I have been so impressed watching him in the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and now with the bright lights on in the championship game. Leroy Blyden Jr., I heard about him. I saw him in a couple games on ESPN+, but seeing him in person, man, this guy is just lightning fast.
Timeout on the floor. We will get an explanation as to what the referees are looking at. Chad Barlow, Alfred Smith, John Floyd, your 3 referees. Chad Barlow talking with Coach Adams right now, giving us the update.
We can look at the last play and see if Blyden came through with an elbow during that play. We'll check to see if they see a flagrant foul off of the elbow from Blyden.
Foul was against Akron, sending Blyden to the free throw line. Now they're checking to see if Blyden came across with the elbow.
It's right there. It's the forearm shiver right to the throat. I don't think that elevates to that point, especially as physical as we've seen games played throughout this tournament. That's the one right there. I think that's a basketball play. I don't think it's a flagrant 1 foul.
Well, it wasn't even a common foul on the play. The whistle was against Akron. Blyden's got 20 points. He leads all scorers.
I just read the official's lips. I'm going to get it confirmed, but I think it's a basketball play.
Lip reader extraordinaire. It's a basketball play.
You know how much I love being right.
I've noticed. How does Judy feel about that?
I'm always wrong there. I'm wrong. That's it. Throw myself on the mercy of the court and hope for a better day tomorrow.
Wide it, free throw line. To extend this Toledo lead. The Rockets led by as many as 12, 3 different occasions. Akron, a hot start to the second half, came back and took their first lead of the game. It was 59-58. Toledo has bounced right back. Here's Evan Mahaffey.
Where Akron has pounded the ball in the paint. Twice as many points the second half in the paint than the first half. They're going to it again.
Young tripped up and fouled.
The adjustment of John Gross offensively has been to attack and be more physical in the paint. They had 12 paint points in the first half. 24 out of 33 in the second half have been doing the dirty work right inside the MAC logo.
We don't win 196 games and only 93 losses in 9 years if you don't know how to make in-game adjustments, as John Gross and the Akron Zips going for a three-peat.
I'll double down on that stat with a 39-2 in the MAC over the last 2 seasons. Dominant by the Akron Zips. Looking for history tonight, as you mentioned, Eric. Potentially 3 MAC championships in a row.
It's going to be history for either of these two teams. It's been 46 years since Toledo won a MAC tournament title.
Turnover off the 1-3-1 zone.
And one, Evan Mahaffey, the flex and the finish.
John Gross again, masterful in game management. 1-3-1 zone out of the half, went man-to-man. They go 1-3-1 zone again. There's the pick, there's the play. Give credit where credit is due. One of the great coaches in America, John Gross.
Give credit where credit is due to Sharon Young, who is having an excellent second half.
He is. The sophomore doesn't care if he comes off the bench. He just cares who wins.
Akron 3 for 9 from the free throw line. Held ball. Toledo will take control. Neither team will budge. So what can Todd Kowalczyk do to adjust to the switching in defense by John Gross?
More diagonal passes. You've got to move the ball to and fro on the diagonal. Once you beat this 1-3-1 zone, then it's got to go corner and back the other way. Too many side-to-side passes, too many indecisions like that.
Entry pass slipped in on a laser. Wilson to Parks.
Give Parks a lot of credit for reading the seam and ducking into the seam. Two defenders on Johnson, but 2 guys in the corner, bad spacing.
6 to shoot. Scott lost it out of bounds. Toledo touched it last.
So these are the kind of passes as you get the ball moving from side to side. Now Parks just steps right in that gap. You could see it from that camera angle. He saw the same thing and stepped right between the 2 defenders with a rocket pass inside.
Scott, corner, fading away off the side of the backboard. Shot clock didn't reset. Lyles short. Foul on Sharon Young. His third. Not a foul he needed to take there. Toledo in the bonus.
How many momentum shifts have we seen in this game? Look, I think Akron, coming down the stretch last 20 games after their loss at Miami, they dominated this league. They won by double figures time and time again. Toledo, once they put Minor Strong into their starting lineup, they became the 2nd or 3rd best team in this league at times. And of course, Miami in the historic run to 31-0, undefeated in the MAC. Travis Steele and that bunch will get some good news tomorrow with an NCAA bid.
This free throw on the 1-and-1. Ari Johnson not waiting for any help. And a foul as Eric Mahaffey bumping into Austin Parks from behind.
If Tavari Johnson uses his left hand, that's a 2-point play. Instead, he tried to go behind with his right hand and missed the shot.
Parks to the free throw line will shoot 1-1. Akron's in the double bonus, and Toledo in the regular bonus, but one more foul against Akron will be their 10th.
So here's a big key for Austin Parks. As you see him at the free throw line, against man-to-man, they're double teaming him all the time. So he's got to make a decision and pass out. In the 1-3-1 zone, they can't double team him. He's coming from behind that zone into the gaps. Really well read by Austin Parks.
Transfer from Ohio State. His former teammate, Evan Mahaffey. And Bowen Hardman now playing against Parks. All three of them coming from the Buckeyes to these two respective teams. Parks hits them both. Toledo on top by 4. 5:19 to go in the MAC championship. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. MAC tournament title on the line. Toledo hasn't won it since 1980. I mentioned it at the start of the show, Mark. Todd Kowalczyk has kind of been the bridesmaid, never the bride, in his 16 years with the Rockets. He is the two-time MAC Coach of the Year. They have won 5 regular season titles with him at the helm. 8 20-win seasons. This is their 4th trip to the championship game under Todd Kowalczyk. They have never won it, and they have not been to the NCAA tournament in 46 years. What
a coaching pedigree that Todd Kowalczyk has. He learned under his father, Rod Kowalczyk, a longtime successful high school coach and athletic director. He even named his son Race. Named him Race after his college coach, Dale Race at Minnesota Duluth. Coaching roots run deep in the Kowalczyk family.
24-year career for Todd Kowalczyk, 451 wins, the most by an active coach without an NCAA tournament appearance. Bowen Hardman missing the 3 out of the timeout. Eric Mahaffey, the offensive rebound for Akron. 5 minutes to go. Shema Scott.
Short.
He's 1 for 7 from 3.
Legs. 3 games in 3 days. There you see it.
Akron 8 for 32 from deep.
You turn this into a paint battle now. Strongest team wins in the paint. Inside out.
Way too much. And Toledo gets lucky. Out of bounds off of Tavari Johnson.
We're seeing wild three-point shots from teams who are good from the three-point line. 2 of the better shooting teams, 2 of the top 3 teams in the conference from the three-point line in the MAC. Right now, fatigue is wearing them down. All of them.
2 to shoot on the shot clock. And a violation.
That actually looked like it hit the right side of the rim.
It wasn't
Doesn't
pretty.
matter.
It wasn't pretty.
It wasn't
either
pretty.
way.
It doesn't matter. We're going to play on.
7 turnovers in the second half for Toledo. Akron is buckled down on defense. Can they get an offensive spark?
They've settled for three-point shots. I like that look a lot better. Look, Akron's 0 for 4 in their last 5 attempts to the rim. That time, Tavari Johnson gets it within range to make a shot. Smart play.
13 overall for Johnson, 10 in the second half. Blyden. Into the lane. Lyles, another rebound. 16 boards for Amani Lyles.
Who could be tough enough and physical enough to take the bump and win the paint war?
Evan Mahaffey spinning off his old teammate at Ohio State, Austin Parks. Mahaffey finishes the tie at 71.
Perfectly read by Mahaffey. Smart play by Mahaffey. Championship level play by Mahaffey.
Wilson dishes to Parks. Are they going to count it?
Nobody's settling now. It's become WWE in the paint. Toledo knows it. They got to be Toledo tough. Austin Parks, tough enough.
Tom, Kevin Zubin in the studio. One of the great things about Champ Week is one of an 8 seed comes out of nowhere to win the conference tournament.
Dante Horn, 15 points, helps Prairie View A&M Panthers punch their ticket.
They win the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Congratulations to them. Coming up next, Big West, Tom.
Oh, yeah, I like Dre Bullock. He's from Franklinton, North Carolina, Kev. You know Franklinton?
I do.
There's where he's from, senior guard. He's getting 13.5 a game. He is ready to go against Irvine.
We've had a lot of 1-2 conference championship matchups on this day. The latest one is next. Eric.
I have no idea what
Zubin. Oh, man, we're so excited to be here. We appreciate you guys supporting us in the studio. Toledo, the 4 seed. It's been a 46-year drought, the 7th longest active drought by any team in the nation to not make it to the NCAA tournament. Have to go back to 1980, the last time the Rockets did it. Todd Kowalczyk, his 16th year, still fighting for that first berth to the big dance. Austin Parks at the free throw line for the Rockets. They're up by 2. Eric Rothman, Mark Adams, the MAC championship at Rocket Arena here in Cleveland.
Akron has only had 1 turnover the entire half. They've got to continue to take care of the ball and attack the rim.
Hardman, corner 3. He hits it. Tied at 74.
Tavari Johnson finds him. Hardman, the 3-point sniper, designated role.
It's the 4th 3 in 8 attempts by Bowen Hardman tonight. Wyden might have switched his pivot, got away with it. Wilson back to the basket, stripped out of bounds. Akron basketball.
Sonny Wilson brings the ball down. As we take a look at the 3, Johnson again not settling, getting the gaps. Hardman wide open. On the opposite end, Sonny Wilson makes a critical fundamental error as he presents the ball down to the knees of the defender.
Todd Kowalczyk wants to challenge the call on the floor, the out of bounds, and was signaled in favor of Akron. John Gross is not happy because the refereeing crew gave Toledo a lot of time to look at the tablet on the bench before making the call as to whether they wanted to challenge or not. Kowalczyk, Toledo won a challenge in the opening minute of this game. So they retained it and an opportunity for a second challenge here with 2:30 to go.
Look how low the ball is right there. He brings it down to his waist. You see the ball go out of bounds.
Kind of tough to tell on that angle.
I know both Johnson and Sonny Wilson both had an opinion about that. Let's take a look. Presents the ball and comes down. On that replay, it looks like it's off of Tavari Johnson, but unless it grazed Wilson's jersey on the way out.
The referee and both Tavari Johnson both signaling that it was off of Wilson's leg. I didn't see it there on that second angle. Chad Barlow, Alfred Smith, John Floyd. Really good job tonight so far, the refereeing crew.
Well, they're going to take some time to make sure they get this right. Such a critical call. So does it touch Wilson's knee, but you can't tell that. You can't see that. So unless there's definitive evidence, we'll stay with the call.
And that would eliminate a timeout from Toledo. They have 2 currently. If they lose the challenge, they would be down to 1. second successful challenge of the game for Toledo as the call is overturned. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
So from our angles, I think they got it right, but they probably had better angles than us. These 6 seconds will be on the shot clock. Obviously, you see that the clock is showing 60 minutes. So, Eric, we're going to be here all night now.
I always thought you looked like Morley Safer.
Thank you. I think. Morley Safer. Oh, goodness.
2:28, not 60 minutes. 74-74, 2:28 to go. 6 seconds on the shot clock for Toledo, trying to retake the lead once again.
Vanderjack's wide open. They miss him.
He's calling for it.
He's still open.
3 seconds. Parks hits the mid-range J.
Both coaches knew Austin Parks was a key figure in this game, and Austin Parks has raised his game tonight.
13.7 rebounds for Austin Parks. He gives Toledo a 2-point lead, just over 2 minutes to go. Toledo up by 2. 2 minutes, 14 seconds left to go in the MAC Tournament Championship game at Rocket Arena, as Austin Parks has stepped up for the Rockets, Coach.
He really has. He had to play well for Todd Kowalczyk to break the drought for the Toledo Rockets. They have not won a MAC championship since 1980. Maybe tonight.
Zips will not go quietly into the night, that's for sure. 2 minutes to go. Hardman harassed by Wilson. 5 to shoot for Johnson. 3 seconds to go. Stolen by the freshman Blyden. Up ahead, Wilson sent packing by Evan Mahaffey.
Evan Mahaffey never gave up on that play. That ball shot down the floor, well executed, fast break offense. And Evan Mahaffey, look, he's 10 feet behind the ball, but never gives up on the play. The biggest shot block of the night from effort.
Third block for Mahaffey. Wide and short. Mahaffey, the board. .130 to go as the Akron fans rise to their feet, looking for their 3rd title in a row.
Big screen by Lyles. Huge screen.
Wilson recovered. Johnson forced to give it up. Got it back. Baseline underneath. Tavari Johnson ties it at 76.
Big players want big moments. Tavari Johnson wants this moment now.
Todd Kowalczyk wants a timeout with 1 minute and 1 second to go in regulation.
Every white jersey comes to Johnson's side. So he goes baseline, gets the backside where there's no help. They flooded the entire side of the floor. You say bad spacing, but it worked out for Tavari Johnson, who read it perfectly.
The MAC championship up for grabs. We've played nearly 39 minutes and we're back to where we started, all tied up. Toledo looking for their first MAC title since 1980. Akron trying for 3 in a row and 4 in the last 5 years under John Gross.
Remember, John Gross has shown man-to-man, and he's woven into this game plan a little bit of 1-3-1 zone, which has bothered Toledo. Will he go to the well one more time for one more possession and go 1-3-1 zone? Because you know what Todd Kowalczyk was talking about, running a man play coming out of the timeout.
Eric Rothman, Mark Adams here with you for the final minute and 1 second of the MAC season. Toledo basketball on the far sideline.
Akron goes 1-3-1 zone.
Blyden gets rid of it to Vanderjack. Kick out, Blyden, deep 3. And fighting for it is Craig, who gets the board.
And that's the downside of the zone, the offside offensive glass. Toledo benefits.
Tell the shot clock for Blyden. Tripped up, lost it. Loose ball, Parks has it. 4 to shoot. Vanderjack traveled.
Clock is still running. Clock was still running. They're going to fix it.
Teams will go to their benches in a free timeout.
Watch the top right-hand corner. You see both clocks up there. And the clock continues to run. It was over 33 seconds. Look, I was here in 2007 when the clock didn't start, and Miami's Doug Penno hit a bank shot to win the MAC championship over Akron, by the way. We don't need any more clock mishaps in this building.
They'll get the clock squared away. Should be about 33.5 seconds, which will be a 3.5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock for Akron. What is John Gross drawing up in the huddle right now?
Look, Akron, in the second half in particular, has lived and died in the paint. They have not settled for a three-point jump shot unless it's Hartman who's wide open. Otherwise, they have been living in the paint off the dribble drive or Amani Lyles doing the dirty work down low. Akron has dominated paint points in the second half.
8 turnovers in the second half for Toledo. The most recent one crucial in a tie game with 33.5 seconds to go.
If I'm Toledo, I do everything humanly possible to make sure Tavari Johnson does not catch the basketball. But typically, John Gross lets Shamal Scott make the purposeful pass or the purposeful play. Watch number 1 in white for Akron.
Johnson inbound to Scott. Each team in the double bonus, each team with 1 timeout. 4-second difference between the game and the shot clock.
Hartman's going to set a high ball screen and pick and pop. He's your best three-point shooter, number 15, right at the free throw line.
Blyden guarding Scott at the MAC logo. Scott switches on to Minor Strong. 5 to shoot. Shamas Scott for the lead. Nothing but net for the hometown kid. Akron up by 3. Blyden lost it. Parks to tie. Oh! And Akron, it's a three-peat. The dynasty for the Zips as Shamas Scott sends Akron dancing.
Yeah.
Akron doing what no team in the MAC has ever done before. 3 tournament championships in a row. 4 in the last 5 years. They've only lost 2 conference games over the last 2 years. Tavari Johnson, Amani Lyles, Shamas Scott, all returning from last year's championship team. And it's Shamas Scott, the Cleveland kid, with the game winner in front of his hometown fans. Minor Strong, a hand in his face, did not matter. Scott, one of the best three-point shooters in the conference, 43% on the year. He struggled in this one. Just 1 for 7 prior to that shot from deep, but it doesn't matter. Mark Adams is with John Gross.
John Gross, history is made. 3 in a row. How have you done it?
You know, Mark, we've known each other a long time. You know how hard that is to do. I mean, think about that for a second. But first of all, hats off to Todd and Toledo. They played a great game. They were clearly the best team in the first half. I thought we just kind of whittled it away in the second half and got in position to make a play there.
Last possession, you decide to go with Shamal Scott, which you've done a lot. Why do you trust him so much?
Trust him a lot.
John Gross has trusted his team all the way through this season, all the way to a 3 feet and 4 out of the last 5 MAC championships. Congratulations.
Thanks, Mark.
An emotional John Gross. What a run it has been. An Akron dynasty. MAC champions for a 3rd straight year. 4 times in the last 5 years. Gross, all smiles. Akron goes to the NCAA tournament. For Mark Adams, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long from Cleveland. We'll see you next year.